The morning the challenge began, the sun rose over the glass towers of New York City with a cruel kind of brightness, the kind that made the rich feel invincible and the poor feel small. Inside one of those towers, the headquarters of Blakemore Industries, a man worth billions leaned back in his leather chair, amused. His name was Charles Blakemore, and to him, life was a game he always won. Downstairs, in the servants' corridor behind the marble halls, Angela, a quiet black maid in her early 40s, hurried with a bucket and rag in hand. She had worked here for 6 years, cleaning up after executives who barely looked at her, and for a boss who never said thank you. Still, she smiled, not because life was easy, but because she had someone to smile for. Her son, Malik. Malik was 17, tall, thin, and quiet, with hands that couldn't stop building things. Broken radios, old computers from dumpsters, anything with wires. He could take it apart and make it new again. Angela used to say, "One day, baby, that brain of yours will take us out of these uniforms." Malik would laugh and shake his head. "I say that every year, Ma." That morning she had just finished polishing the CEO's floor-to-ceiling windows when the elevator dinged. Charles Blakemore stepped out with his entourage. Investors, board members, all laughing too loudly. "Morning, sir," Angela said softly, keeping her eyes down. He barely glanced at her. "Careful with that bucket, Angela. Wouldn't want you spilling water on a few $1 million worth of marble." The men laughed. Angela swallowed the sting, forcing a polite smile. "Yes, sir. But fate has strange timing." Just then, one of the men, the head engineer, approached Charles with panic in his eyes. "Sir, we've got a problem. The AI core you commissioned for the new security system, it's crashed. We can't reboot it. The entire mansion's automation is down. Doors, sensors, everything. If the media hears this before tonight's charity gala..." Charles's jaw tightened. "Are you telling me I'm about to host New York's elite in a dead house? We're trying to fix it, but the system's locked. The code won't respond. It's like it's rewriting itself," the men muttered nervously. Charles growled, "Get every engineer we've got on it." Angela stood still, clutching her rag. Malik would have loved to see this, a real AI system, not just the old circuits he played with in their tiny apartment. Charles caught her lingering. "What are you staring at?" She flinched. "Nothing, sir, sorry," he sneered. "You know anything about computers, Angela?" "No, sir. But my boy does. Malik, he's always fixing things." The men chuckled, one of them saying, "A janitor's kid fixing a multi-million-dollar AI system? That'll be the day." Charles grinned cruelly. "Tell you what, Angela, bring your genius son here. If he can fix it before my engineers do, I'll give you my mansion." The men erupted in laughter. Angela froze, her heart hammering. She couldn't tell if he was serious or mocking her. Probably both. Charles waved a hand dismissively. "Go on, then. Bring your boy. Let's see this miracle worker." She hesitated, then nodded, whispering, "Yes, sir." By the time Malik arrived at the Blakemore mansion that afternoon, the place was chaos. Engineers were hunched over computers, screens flashing red. The AI, called Eden, had gone rogue. Doors opened randomly, security cameras looped themselves, and the smart system refused to obey any command. Malik followed his mother into the vast marble entryway, looking small but curious. He wore a faded hoodie and carried an old laptop covered in stickers. Charles saw him and smirked. "So this is the prodigy?" Malik said nothing, eyes already scanning the massive control console that filled an entire wall. One engineer sneered. "Kid, this isn't some school project." "That's a $40 million neural system." Malik didn't answer. He walked closer, studying the code scrolling across the display. The engineers tried to shoo him away, but Charles raised a hand. "Let him try. I could use a laugh." Angela stood in the corner, wringing her hands. "Malik, you don't have to..." But Malik had already plugged in his laptop. The room went quiet as his fingers began to fly across the keyboard. Lines of code appeared faster than anyone could follow. The engineers frowned, muttering to each other. "What's he doing?" one asked. "He's rewriting the system access," another whispered. "But that's impossible without the core key." Charles leaned forward, amused. "You telling me the kid's doing what my paid experts couldn't?" Nobody answered. Malik didn't look up. "Your AI self-learning algorithm wasn't sandboxed. It's trying to overwrite its own safety protocols. You're lucky it didn't start locking you inside your own house. The engineers blinked. How do you know that? I read your code, he said simply. It's messy, the lead engineer bristled. Excuse me? Malik hit enter. The giant screen flickered once, twice, and then turned green. System restored. The lights in the mansion stabilized. The hum of machines returned to normal. Silence, then applause. Half sarcastic, half stunned. Charles laughed, a booming sound that filled the hall. Well, I'll be damned. The maid's kid just saved my $1 million system. Angela looked between them, unsure whether to smile or worry. Malik unplugged his laptop, calm as if he'd fixed a toaster. Charles clapped his hands. You've got guts, kid. Tell me, what do you want? Money, a scholarship? Malik looked him dead in the eye. Fayo said if I fixed it, you'd give my mom your mansion. The room went still. Charles blinked, then laughed harder than ever. Oh, you took that seriously? Malik's expression didn't change. A promise is a promise. Charles' smile faded. Watch your tone. Angela stepped forward, trembling. Sir, he didn't mean... Charles turned on her sharply. You think I'm giving up a $30 million property because your boy got lucky with a bug? Malik's voice stayed level. Luck doesn't rewrite code. For the first time, Charles looked unsettled. The kid had confidence, too much for someone from the wrong side of town. Tell you what, Charles said coldly. You want to play grown-up? Then you'll come work for me. Prove it wasn't luck. But your mother stays cleaning floors. Angela's eyes widened. Sir, please. Charles smiled thinly. Fair trade. If you're half as smart as you think, you'll survive. Malik hesitated. He looked at his mother, at the exhaustion in her eyes, the quiet humiliation she'd swallowed for years, and nodded. Fine. Charles clapped his hands once. Then it settled. Welcome to Blakemore Industries, Malik. Let's see what you're really made of. Angela wanted to protest, but something in her son's expression stopped her. It wasn't fear. It was determination. Outside, thunder rolled across the skyline, like the city itself knew something was coming. And as they left that mansion, neither of them could have known that Malik had just stepped into a trap much bigger than broken. Code? Because what he'd fixed wasn't just an AI, it was a doorway unto a secret his employer would do anything to keep buried. And soon, the boy who fixed a billionaire system would uncover what that system was really built for. Before we continue, where are you watching from? I love hearing where my viewers are around the world. The first day Malik walked into Blakemore Industries as an employee, the building seemed to swallow him whole. The glass walls reflected power, the kind that gleamed like gold but hid rot underneath. Men in suits gave him curious looks. Some sneered, some whispered. A 17-year-old from the projects working directly under the CEO? It didn't make sense. But Charles Blakemore made the rules here, and everyone followed them, even when they didn't understand them. Angela had begged him not to go. Baby, men like him don't keep promises. They use people. Malik had kissed her cheek. Then I'll make sure we're the last people he uses. He wore his best shirt, a little too big, a little too worn, and carried his same old laptop. The receptionist eyed him suspiciously before escorting him upstairs. Charles was waiting in his office, hands clasped, that fake smile on his face again. Welcome, prodigy, he said smoothly. Your desk's not ready, so you'll be working out of the security lab. Let's see if that brain of yours can handle pressure. Malik nodded. What do you want me to do? Charles pointed to a monitor wall showing rows of encrypted servers. I want you to optimize the system. Faster, smarter, stronger. You'll have full access. Full access. Malik frowned. Why me? Charles chuckled. Because you fixed what my experts couldn't besides. He leaned closer, voice low. Sometimes fresh eyes see what the old ones miss. Malik sat down, logging into the terminal. The network's structure was vast, hundreds of linked AI processes feeding into something hidden. It wasn't just for mansion security. It was connected to data centers, facial recognition networks, financial streams. The deeper he looked, the stranger it got. That night after Charles left, Malik stayed behind. He wasn't supposed to, but curiosity burned hotter than fear. He followed a trail of code into a hidden directory labeled Project Halo. When he tried to open it, a message flashed, Access denied, restricted level Omega. He sat back, thinking. No one names a file that way unless they have something to hide. He bypassed the firewall using a backdoor trick, a code he'd written years ago to hack old-school computers for fun. This time it wasn't fun. As the folder opened, a cascade of images and data appeared on screen. Financial ledgers, secret offshore accounts, blackmail recordings. He scrolled faster, eyes wide. Hidden videos of executives, politicians, celebrities, all compromised, all under Charles's control. Blakemore wasn't just rich. He was untouchable because he owned everyone's secrets. Malik's stomach dropped. This was no security AI. This was surveillance. A digital prison built to control the powerful. And now Malik was inside it. He quickly saved a few files to his laptop, just as footsteps echoed in the hallway, still working. Charles's voice drifted in. Malik snapped his laptop shut. Just optimizing the servers. Charles smiled faintly. Good. You'll learn fast that knowledge is power here. But too much knowledge. He paused, eyes narrowing slightly. Can be dangerous, their gazes locked. For a second, Malik thought the man knew. But then Charles turned away. Get some rest, kid. Tomorrow's a big day, the door's shut. Malik exhaled shakily. When he got home, his mother was waiting with warm food and tired eyes. How was it? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he asked, Ma, what would you do if you found out something bad about someone powerful? She looked at him. You mean like a secret? He nodded. Angela sighed. If it hurts people, you don't stay quiet. But be careful. The truth's heavy, and the people who hide it usually got the money to crush you with it. Malik couldn't sleep that night. The images from that folder haunted him. Faces, names, lies. He thought about deleting them, but something stopped him. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was justice. The next day he confronted Charles directly. I looked into Project Halo, Malik said quietly when the office emptied. Charles's smile froze. Did you now? You're blackmailing people. Senators, CEOs, cops. You're tracking everyone. That's what your AI's doing. Charles chuckled coldly. You shouldn't believe everything you think you see. Malik pulled out his laptop. I copied the files. The air turned to glass. For the first time, Charles's eyes lost their amusement. You have no idea what you've done, he said softly. Those files are worth lives, including yours. Malik straightened. Then maybe I'll trade them for something better. Charles studied him for a long moment. You think you can outplay me? You're a Maid son with a cheap laptop. I own this city. I own the police who'll drag you in, the lawyers who'll bury you, and the media who'll make you a criminal. Malik's jaw tightened. You don't own me. Charles's tone dropped to a whisper. No, but I own your mother's future. That made Malik freeze. Charles smirked, seeing the fear return. Think very carefully, Malik. You leak that data and accidents happen. Fires, break-ins, little tragedies no one investigates. Malik left the building that day, feeling the city pressed down on him like a trap. He went home and packed a small bag. Ma, he said, voice trembling, we have to go. Angela stared at him. What happened? He's not who you think. He's dangerous. We can't stay. But before they could leave, black SUVs pulled up outside their apartment. Men in suits, silent, armed, spread out across the street. Malik pulled his mother into the back room, whispering, Don't move. A voice boomed through a megaphone. Malik Carter. Step outside. You're wanted for cyber intrusion and theft of private property. Angela gasped. Oh, God, Malik whispered. He framed me. He grabbed his laptop and the flash drive containing the copied files. I can prove the truth. I just need time. Angela's eyes filled with tears. You can't fight men like that, baby. Malik kissed her forehead. Maybe not. But I can make sure they can't hurt you. He climbed out the window just as the door burst open. Angela screamed his name, but he was already gone, running across rooftops, chased by shadows. Rain poured down again, slicking the city in neon. By midnight, Malik was gone. No trace. No signal. Charles stood in his office, watching the security feed of the raid, sipping his drink. Kids, he muttered, always think they can rewrite the rules. He smiled, unaware that far away in a dim cyber cafe, Malik was already plugging in his laptop, connecting to the world. He uploaded the files into a decentralized server, naming the leak Project Halo Truth of Power. And when the first journalists opened those documents, the world erupted. Charles's empire crumbled overnight. Arrests, investigations, ruined reputations, everything fell apart. But no one ever found Malik. Some said he fled the country. Others said he disappeared into the web, ghosting himself completely. Angela eventually received a letter with no return address. Inside was one line of text and a set of coordinates. For Yuma, a promise kept. She followed them and found a small house, simple, peaceful, overlooking a lake. The deed had her name on it, paid in full. On the back of the letter was Malik's handwriting. He mocked us, said we'd never have a mansion. But you have something better, a home bought with truth. Angela cried that day, tears of pride. Loss and peace all at once. Charles Blakemore, once a king of steel and shadow, died alone in his penthouse weeks later, ruined by the same system he had built to control others. And somewhere, behind the glow of a screen, Malik's voice echoed in the dark corners of the web, whispering the same lesson his mother had always taught him. You can clean their flaws, fix their code or expose their lies, but never bow to them. The truth always wins.